The Bachelorette Devin Strader speaks out and spills the tea with all the receipts.
Hey y'all, I know there are plenty of people upset with me right now, but I wanted to come on here and hopefully try to give a little more context to the situation due to the things being said about me. All I'm looking to do here is tell my side, take accountability, and apologize for some of the things that I wasn't able to say at AFR. Disclaimer again, this is my truth. And by no means am I looking to denounce Jen in any way. By no means am I looking to come at her in any way or say anything negative about her. All I'm trying to do here is show that this was a two-way relationship, and I think we could both be held accountable. I am no way sitting here trying to say I was perfect throughout that relationship, but I am looking to clear up a few rumors and the false narrative that's being said about me. To start, I want to briefly show a few texts between Jen and I directly after leaving the show, as well as a few texts leading up to right before AFR. I think that'll show a little bit of perspective from my side as well as from a relationship standpoint.
The only reason that I'm showing these texts in the first place is to give a little bit more context into why I reacted the way I did when stepping onto the stage at AFR. Again, a week prior, as you can see here, August 27th, I was told that we were on good terms and we were friends. The next screenshot that you see here is 3 hours prior to AFR, where she basically sums up that even though things weren't perfect between our relationship, she'll always cherish the love between us, and no matter what happens, she'll always be rooting for me. She specifically says, no matter how things play out on TV. Another big thing that I wanted to address was that I broke up with Jen over a 15-minute phone call. On the day that we broke up, I wasn't acting weird. I really wanted to get to that happy couple and have that conversation with her in person. The rest of this really just shows the text the morning of our breakup and subsequently the fallout that happens afterwards. As you can see, there are multiple different occasions where I do say that I really want to meet up in person to say this. She basically forces this out of me. She says that I call her, which was not the case, at which point I did feel the need that I owed her that conversation. I did try to meet up with her. I did try to go to the happy couple, and she did not let me. As saying that she didn't deserve to go if it was just going to be a breakup. So I didn't really know what else to do. She kind of forced my hand.
This is only going to be a glimpse. This isn't going to be every single text that Jen and I have ever sent to each other, every single conversation that her and I have had. But I think it's important to highlight the highs and the lows of our inner workings of what went on in between our relationship and while we were together. There's a lot of false narratives being pushed about that right now, and there's a lot of false statements being given out. So I'm really here to set the record straight, and hopefully I can do that by providing a little bit of clarity into the day-to-day lives that Jen and I experienced while we were together. The highs, the lows, the good, the bad. But really the effort and the love that I had for this woman, because I know that's getting confused by a lot of people based off of Jen saying that I pulled away immediately after Hawaii. But I actually only ever pulled away and started becoming distant post-breakup. And not just right after our breakup, we're talking about almost the end of the month breakup.
And yeah, I was trying to move on with my life, as hard as that is to say. I needed that for my own happiness. Again, a relationship is two people are involved. And this wasn't August 6th when I did that. This was closer to the end of the month. And I only did that because it felt like I was leading her on. I felt guilty because in her mind, it felt like she was holding on to something that wasn't there for me. And I had been honest with her in person about where my heart stood at the last happy couple at the end of July, where we met up in person, talked all night about this.
I wanted to also address Jen's false claims that I was immediately pulling away from the relationship as soon as we left Hawaii. I'm going to be showing you guys, disclaimer, I'm going to be showing you guys the phone calls from the day after our breakup, August 5th, and every phone call thereafterwards leading up to AFR. Our last phone conversation was actually just under 2 weeks prior to stepping out on that stage on the 3rd of September.
These are the missed calls from Jen the night that we broke up that coincide with the text from the earlier portion of this video. Afterwards, we did have multiple different conversations regarding the breakup, as you see. At no point did I ever leave her in the dark, and I was very open and honest about everything that I stood for, and especially where my heart was in that time and place. I just am very confused by how the narrative can be pushed that I was absent from this relationship, even when I was present, as you can see here, for so much, even post-breakup.
Now that you guys have seen a lot more context between the moments from post-Hawaii and the moments leading up to AFR, I hope that can help debunk a lot of these claims that I wasn't present during the relationship. I really find that to be kind of offensive and really a demeanor on my character, especially when I tried so hard for Jen in this relationship. with all that in mind, yeah, I really just want to get into how I was feeling post-breakup and the moments leading up to AFR. I know there's been a lot of questions asked to me regarding, the situation that happened on stage. A lot of people have been asking what happened. Why didn't you say anything up there? Can you elaborate on any of the things you did say? First off, walking out on that stage, I had no idea what was being said prior to that actual moment. I had no idea what any of the conversation had been prior, leading up to that point. And again, I was unaware and I had no idea what was going on. As I've said, everything that I've shown and everything that you've seen has led me to believe that Jen and I are on good terms, and everything that we've spoken about post-breakup has led me to believe that we were on good terms. So again, I had no reason to believe otherwise. So yes, frankly, I was stunned, and frankly, I was shocked and had no words at the way that our relationship was being depicted on TV. It was absolutely asinine, and it was really, really disheartening to hear the way Jen described it, because that wasn't true. We both knew that that wasn't true. But I didn't want to fight with her. That wasn't my intention. I never intended to go up there and bicker. I felt that was what she needed in the moment, and that was that. And honestly, it all boils back down to the fact that I didn't feel like I would ever have to sit here and defend myself over facts that aren't true about not only myself, but our relationship as well. Because once again, just 1 week prior to AFR, I got a text from Jen saying that we are friends on good terms, and at no point did she want to get back together in the relationship. And just 3 hours leading up to AFR at 1:30, I got another text from Jen that sums up in specific terms that no matter how this plays out, she's always going to cherish the moments that we spent together, the love that we had, and she'll always be rooting for me. And I'm not sitting here trying to put blame or fault on any one person. Again, a relationship is two people, and it is incredibly difficult to navigate those emotions post-show. We both had missteps, we both had flaws, we both had mistakes along the way. But the love that Jen and I had, and the love that especially that I had for Jen, is not something that I'm attempting to lie about. It's not something I can fake. Every single day was an uphill battle. And as a man, I'm trying to support and love the best way that I can, but at the end of the day, I also have those feelings of anxiety too. I'm also allowed to feel certain things. I'm also allowed to have certain opinions on situations, and I feel like no matter what I was doing in a lot of these situations, no matter how hard I was trying, it wasn't good enough. No matter how much effort I would put in, it continued to take an emotional toll on me. And at that point, I really did have to make just a decision based on my own happiness. Because again, at the end of the day, what's best for me is what's best for me. And I'm not letting anyone hold those feelings to standard, because they are only pertaining to me. And that is the most important thing, is my happiness in my life. As much as I care for Jen, as much as I love Jen, I really did feel like there was no other choice. And that's hard to hear, and I get where she's coming from. I totally do. But yeah, I'm not gonna let her paint this picture that isn't true about what went on in our relationship, especially regarding the couples counseling. I know that was a huge issue for her. So there's been a lot of chattering from Jen, alleging that I didn't go to couples counseling, or I refused to go to couples counseling. I want to go ahead and clear the air on that. I never refused to go to couples counseling. I actually scheduled multiple appointments with her, and we went to a couple sessions together. On top of that, Jen and I were also doing individual counseling with our respective therapists from the show at the time. The reason I stopped going to couples counseling is due to the fact that Jen fired our original therapist without consulting me about it. I only had to find out through an email from our therapist saying that she's sorry things couldn't work out. I confronted Jen about this, and she never even gave me an explanation. All she could say was that she didn't like her and that she wasn't experienced enough. I thought that completely invalidated my opinion as a partner. Again, this is something that she wanted. She really, really vouched for couples therapy. She really, really advocated for it, and I was all for it, for her, because that's, again, something that I do for people that I care about. And again, she didn't tell me that she got rid of the therapist, and that's what really struck me in the wrong way, because again, it felt like no matter what I was saying, what I was doing, my opinions on the matter, they were being completely tossed to the side. I don't think that's just prevalent in this situation, but it's prevalent in a lot of the arguments that we got in as well, and a lot of the texts that we shared, which you can also go back and read. So yeah, it wasn't me refusing to go to couples therapy. It wasn't me refusing to do couples counseling with Jen. It was strictly due to the fact that she fired our original therapist for no apparent reason, and she didn't consult me about it prior. Again, I felt like that really devalued what we had as a partnership, really devalued my opinion in the say of the matter, and yeah, that was the end of our couples counseling, but I continued to go see my individual therapist all the way through August. That is confirmed. Next, I want to address the Maria situation. I am taking full accountability for that. I did follow her, I think the week of August 14th. I followed a bunch of Bachelor Nation accounts, but regardless, it was still an ill-advised decision on my part. I made an emotionally charged decision, and Jen and I were in a fight at the time, and her and I did speak about that the next day. I did apologize, and she is the only one who needed an apology in that moment. I realized I made a mistake, and I am sorry to her for that. Reflecting back, I do realize that I did make a poor decision, and I shouldn't be playing with people's feelings, especially when it's regarding their emotions. I shouldn't also be following people that I have no relationship with whatsoever. I don't know Maria, never met Maria, I've never met up with Maria, and I will never follow Maria. I know I hurt Jen now, and I'm not trying to excuse my behavior. I'm just here to apologize for that, so I am sorry. In regards to this whole clubbing with Jeremy thing, as I said before, I was in New York City on business to meet up with a client. Jeremy and I had been in contact post-show to hang out. We had scheduled to meet up while we were there, and that was that. I also have friends in the city that I've known for a long time. Some of them I even went to college with. So I really don't think that's prevalent, but you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and release that information as well. So again, it wasn't a week after our breakup either. It was a week prior to AFR. I really just want to clear the timeline on that because, again, as I said on stage, I felt like everything was kind of being condensed down to a certain point, and that's not true. Yeah, being on the show and rewatching the episodes back is something that most people, probably a lot of people, will not and can never understand. I had to clearly watch myself play second to someone else, and that's okay. We moved on from that. I wasn't her first choice. But again, a relationship is two people, and that's part of growing together. I don't fault her for the feelings that she had towards Marcus, but I wasn't informed of that even during our relationship. I was only made aware of that during the decision of me communicating less post-breakup, after a breakup, almost a month later, so that's hard to go through. And at that point in time, I felt like my decisions were reaffirmed in breaking up with her in the first place. I felt like I had made the right choice. So yeah, maybe I was a little bit more callous leading up to the last couple weeks towards AFR, but it wasn't intentional. It wasn't something that I felt like I was doing out of malice. It was just an important thing that I felt I needed, which was space. And as hard as moving on from a relationship is, that is a part of life. And I was trying to go through those avenues of life for myself and figure those things out for myself. Overall, I'm not trying to play the victim here. I really don't want that. I'm not having this video made intended for that. I'm just really here to try and explain my feelings and my side of the story because, again, my truth I feel is important in this situation too. The things that were said about our relationship were expressed and incredibly inaccurate, and I just wanted to do my best and felt it was best to speak on the circumstances of the situation. And to Jen, I really am sorry for the way things played out. My intentions were to never hurt you, and I'm sorry for that hurt that I've caused.
What's your thoughts on Devin's side of the story? Comment down below.